Hello, my Jhs One student. You are welcome to another week and the continuation of our virtual lessons. We thank God for keeping all of us safe. We are all healthy and strong. And by the grace of God, we sing today. So we are going to continue with our topic for today. Now, we started with algebraic expressions. And today we are looking at multiplication and division of algebraic expressions. Now these are what I want you to note before we start solving our questions. Now when you are multiplying numerators and you have to multiply numerators and denominators separately. This is a normal thing we know when we are doing division. You cannot multiply a numerator by a denominator. Numerators multiply numerators and denominators multiply denominators. Now you also have to cancel out any factor, any common factor to the numerator and denominator. So just as if you have 2 divided by 10 or 2 over 10, 2 cancels itself once and it goes into 10 what? 5 times. And the third one too is to divide an algebraic expression multiplied by its inverse, what we normally know. When we are dividing 2 fractions, let's say 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 4. You know you cannot work with the division sign. You have to what? Reciprocate, and you have to change the division sign to multiplication sign. And by doing that, you reciprocate the fraction on the right hand side. So that is what we are learning today. So this is Jhs One-Mathematics. Okay. Now you have the first question here. 10 is being multiplied by x to the power 6, y to the power 4, all over 2x to the power 4, y to the power 2. Okay. Now, they are dividing, right? Now, there's something that I want you to learn today. If you use the law of indices, fine, you get it correctly. But in certain questions, you might get the answer wrongly. So this is the basic thing that I want you to know today and learn when solving this question. So we have 10. How many x do we have here? 6x, right? So we have x, 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 x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. So this is 5. We have another x. Being what? 6 to the x to the power 6. Then how many y's do we have? 4, right? So y, 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 y. All over what? 2. How many x do we have down here? 4, right? So x, 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 x. Now you know that when a number is raised to a power, the power that is raised to the number of times the number is being repeated. And y2 to the power 2, so it is what? Y, y. Don't do this in your books for me, I beg you. I'm just using it to explain something for you. Now, in division, what happens? 2 cancels itself, goes into itself 1, and goes into 10 what? 5 times, right? Now, that's the same thing that we're going to do here. So this 1x goes for this 1x. This x goes for this x. This x goes for this x. This x goes for this x. So now you realize that at the denominator side, we do not have any x there again. But for the top or the numerator, we have 2x left. Now let's come down here. Y cancels the y down here. And this y also cancels the y down here. What do you realize here? That we do not have any y at the denominator side, but we have 2y at the top. So our final answer is at the denominator side, there is no number left. This one left a 1, this one's also left 1. So our final answer is what? 5. How many x do we have here? X to the power 2. And how many y's do we have here? Y to the power 2. This is our final answer. Okay. So let's take the second question. $250 PQR all over 25 QR. Okay. Now, 25 into itself 1. 25 into 250, how many times? 10 times. We are cancelling out, right? Q takes Q, R takes R. What is our answer? Our answer is 10p. So it's as simple as this. Okay, now let's take the third question quickly. Now the third question is u to the power 5 v to the power 2 all being divided by 3s to the power 2t times 2st 5u cubed v 5. All right. So if we had common factors here, we would have cancelled them out. But do you realize that we don't have any common factors here? 2 cannot cancel 5 directly, can also cancel 3. So what is the second thing that we left? That if we don't cancel out, we have to multiply numerators and denominators separately. So we are going to multiply these people together, this by this and this by that. So we can start by writing, we can start with the number, the coefficient. So we have 2st. You can also start with this one, whichever one you want is fine. Then u5 v2 all over 3 times 5. Don't forget. 3 times 5 is what? 15. Then we have x2. There's no s here. We would have, but since there's no s here, we pick it like that. Then we have our t. Then I have our u3 and v5. All right. Okay. Now let's look here. Let's start with the first letter, which is S. Now, do you realize that there are 2 S here? There are 2 S here, but there's 1 S here. So that means this, the S here will cancel this S here, leaving us with 1 S here. Do you realize that? So you bring your 2 here. So this S is eliminated, but there will be 1 S left here. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Now, T. Let's look at T. Now, there's a T here, which is 1, and there's another T here, which is 1. So that means this T will cancel this T. Do you get it? Okay, now let's look at the U. Now there are 5 U's here and there are 3 U's here. That means the 5 U's will take out the 3 U's here, leaving us with what? A U, 2 U's. So you have U to the power 2. I hope you understand. Then we have what? V. Is there a V here? Yes. There are 2 V's here and there are what? 5 V's here. So we are going to cancel 2 V's out of this 5, and we are going to be left with what? A 3V here, but no V here. So we are done with the top part. Now let's pick the down part. We have 15. 15. How many S did we take out from this one? We took 1 S, right? So we are left with what? 1 S down here. Now the T cancelled each other. We've dealt with the U. The U came here. Now this V. We took 2 V's from this V, leaving us with what? 3 V's. So that is it. I hope you understand. Okay, so that is our final answer. Okay, let's take the 4th question. Now, when I'm solving questions, please take your pens and your book and try to follow what I am doing. If you just watch the video without taking notes, you finish watching the video and still not understand. So the moment there is time for a class, get your notebooks and your pens and books ready. So let's take the 4th question. So 3AB times 10B to the power 4 all over 15C2 D3 over what? Over 9A squared. Okay. So this is what I was talking about. The first one, cancel out any factor. So that is why I I wrote down these points for you. That you have to cancel any common factor. So let's first of all, you ask yourself, is there any common factor here that I can cancel? Yes. 3 and 5, right? So 3 into itself 1 and 3, 5, 15. So now we are done. Okay, we are not done cancelling. 5 into itself 1 and 5 into 10, what? 2. Right? So now let's count. So we pick our A, B times the 2. Then we have what? D, 4. But normally it's better if you write the coefficient first. So we have 2a, b, d to the power 4. Then we have a coefficient here. Yes, we have just 1 here. Times this 9. So we have 9. Then let's bring our a squared. Then you bring our c squared and d 3. Okay. Now what do you realize here? Our 2 comes, right? Let's deal with the variables. There are two A's here, but there's a 1A here. So this A will be cancelled out. Alright? So we don't have any A at the top. Do we have a B down there? No, we don't have any B down there. So you bring the B there. If the B had something down here, it will either cancel itself or we'll take it out. Alright, now let's look at the D here. How many D's do we have? We have 4. And there's 3 here. So these 3 D's will be cancelled out from this 4. The leaving out is what? 1D. So a D1. Or any number standing on its own, or anything variable standing on its own is raised to the power what? 1. So what are we left with here? We have 9. Now do you remember that we cancelled 1A from this A? So now you're left with an A here. Right? And this C, we didn't cancel this C with anything. So you carry your C to here. Now this D, remember we cancelled it out from this D. So this is your final answer. So 2BD all over 9AC squared. Okay, so last question. Now this is a question that involves division, and I was talking about the last thing you were supposed to note for the day. That is inverse or reciprocation. So we have 35x cubed y cubed all divided by 7xy. 35 is over 8p to the power 5 q to the power 4 and 64p q. Alright, so just like every division or every fraction that are being divided by each other, you cannot work with it unless you change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And after changing it to multiplication sign, the fraction on the right hand side has to be reciprocated, or it has to be the inverse form. So let's start. We have 35 x cubed y cubed all over 8p 5q 4 is multiplication. It would what? Reciprocate. So 64p q over 7xy. What is the next step? Cancel out any common factors. So we have 7 into itself 1, 7 into 35 what? 5 times. Can 8 work with 64? Yes. 8 into itself 1, 8, 64. Alright, so we pick our numbers. We have 8 times 5 is what? 40. Then we have what? Our x cubed, y cubed, don't forget, p cubed. All over what? Do we have any coefficients here? No, it's just 1 because they all cancelled out. So we have p to the power 5, q to the power 4, and we have what? X and y. Okay, now let's do our cancellation. So we have 3 x's here, right? And 1 x here, right? So this x will be deducted from 1 x, or 1 x will cancel 1 x here. So we have our 40. If 1 x is taken from 3 x's, we have what? 2 x's left. Is there a y? Yes, there is 1 y here being taken out from 3 y's. How many y's do we have left? 2 y's. Is there a p down here? No. So you just bring your p there. Is there a q down here? Yes, there is a q. So this q will be taken from these 4 Q's here, leaving us with what, 3 Q's here, but there is no Q here. So you bring your Q here, the P, this P, wait, sorry, so, no, this P doesn't come, and this Q also doesn't come, alright? Because this P was taken out from this P5, so the P is cancelled, they're leaving us with what, P4 here, and this Q is being taken out from this Q for leaving us with Q3, or 3 Qs. So down here we have what, P, because this P was taken from here, so we have P to the power 4, and this Q was also taken from this Q4, so we have what, Q to the power 3. We've dealt with the X and we've dealt with the Y. So this is our final answer. Alright. So this is it. As usual, I'll give you more questions on the page. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye.